It is finally time to film a full face of Made by Mitra products. I have tested everything, I have so much stuff to try, I have so much stuff to show you, but I know that when you see this video, he already dropped like 2,000 new items. I don't know if I have bought anything from this because when you see the video, it's like 5 days after the launch. When I filmed this video, it's like 2 days before. And please do not be afraid of my eyes. We are not doing the eye look in this video because I actually do not have Made by Mitra eye stuff aside from one liner that I will just show you in a swatch. I do not have any of the eyeshadow palettes. He has, I think, 2 bigger ones and then quads. I was eyeing 1 or 2 quads of him, but honestly, the shape makes my brain lit. I like bad lit. I don't want to have these weird shades in my collection, so thank you. He also has single blushes in that same compact, and I hate it so much. But for everything else on the face, I kind of have a good full face going on, so let's start. And the first product is the Pore Paste. This is a pore filling primer. And it is exactly this. It's like a thick silicone paste that you can put on your face to smooth it out. I know these types of primers were super duper popular in the early YouTube beauty era. You know, the Smashbox one, I think that was the most popular in this, where people had so much problems with pilling and shit, so that they started to literally press this in the pores. This one you can very easy just smear and spread all over the face. I actually enjoy it. I think this is a great primer because it is kind of mattifying, but honestly, I think this is just satinizing my face. I don't know if this is a really good word, but I don't think my face looks super matte. Compared to, for example, when I used the Danessa Myricks Water Powder Serum, my face is flat matte after this. With the Pore Paste, I hope the lights kind of do reflect on this. There is some kind of a satin finish going on, and it dries down to a very, very nice velvety finish on the face. I do want to warn you though, the smell of this is absolutely awful. I don't know what it is with his product. A lot of people hate also the smell of his cases. I personally like the case smells, but someone was commenting it smells like cheap dish soap or so. I don't think so. It's not the most pleasant smell, but it doesn't bother me. But this one, let me just, for you, take a good sniff. Ugh. This smells like, what is the English word? There is a liquid that you need to use when you want to dissolve paint, like real paint on a wall or something. In German, it's turpentine.
Turpentine.
Turpentine, says Google Translator. So yeah, this is sadly exactly what it smells like. But the good thing is that smell doesn't last. As soon as you apply this on your face, the smell is gone. It doesn't give a headache, at least for me. Honestly, I can look past that smell because the way this primer works just throughout the day, especially now. Here in Germany, it's today a bit rainy and I think there is a thunder coming on, but it's hot. It's like 22 degrees Celsius. Yes, for me, 22, it's hot. And when you have like moist weather and then warm temperatures, you know, everything is just sticky and just disgusting. This stuff holds in this weather. This stuff holds through my workouts. Let's talk about the concealers. These are the Balm concealers. I know that he has come out with new ones, if I remember that correctly. At least we saw them in his like thousands and thousands of weird announcements last week. Again, when you see the video, these have been out already, so I don't know what exactly is coming, but the Balm concealers are the bomb. I love it so much. And I do actually have 2 shades because BB3 I use on my under eyes while BB1 I use on my face. So I take a concealer brush, load it up a bit, And then I just start to spot conceal around my face where it is needed. Funny enough, the foundation in BB1 was way too yellow for me, but the concealer in BB1, perfect. So the Made by Mitchell Eyelights actually are brightening powders. I have the shade... Does it have a shade name here? It should have, because this comes in 3 different versions, but it doesn't say it here in the packaging. Oh, it says Daylight is my shade. And you have these 4 brightening powders: Aurora, Morn, Ascent, and Glory. I hope you can see that I already hit pan in Glory, mainly because this one is way too dark for me to use on my face actually. I use this to set my eye primer and the concealer. The Made by Mitchell brushes are insane. They are really, really good, honestly. They are very affordable. I think there is a set on Beauty Bay that has 5 or 6 brushes and it's 16 bucks. So I now have to film the first part of the eye look. You saw the looks already yesterday, so we'll be back with foundation application for you in a second. I know, work in progress always looks a bit scary. Next up for the Truth Tint. Oh my god, this just kind of got me so fast I can't even remember. Wow. And I said in my review about this that I think that this and the Lisa Aldrich Skin Tint are the exact same formulation, and honestly, I still stand by that. I still think they are so freaking similar, and if you do not want to spend that much money on the Lisa Aldrich Skin Tint, because I think this is like over 40 bucks, the Made by Mitchell Skin Tint is a bit over 20, I think. It is so good. And I even do not apply any glowing primer today because I want to show you how this skin tint is just doing its magic on my face. So I just dot it all over and then I go over everything with a brush. Not too sure if Made by Mitchell has a foundation brush. I don't think so. What I always do is I take a clean sponge now and I just tap over my face and the weird areas again. Now for the under eye concealer, I'm using the Bold Balm. I think it's called the Bold Balm Concealer, but on the back it only says Balm Concealer, in the shade BB3. Usually I use a brightener or like a color corrector, but with this one, I truly do not need this. I mean, just look at how this applies here on the under eye, how brightened it looks, and also how much concealed it is. I don't know if I just see this in the mirror because I want to see it, but I feel this is magic in a jar. And I usually apply it very sloppy and streaky because I tap over it either with the same sponge that I do my foundation with. I just currently happen to have this mini sponge that I use for concealer exclusively. I can go the easy way now because I do have the liquid contour from Made by Mitchell in the shade Hollow there, and this is definitely one of my favorites. It's a beautiful tone. It is super easy to use. It blends out like a dream, but you know what? For this video, I don't want to make it easy. So for my contour shade, I'm custom mixing with the Lighter Than Light and the Deeper Than Deep curve case. Since my eye look is very natural today, just kidding. I take the shade, I'm not sure. Okay, I take Shapeshifter as a base. So I just scrape something off here and apply this. And I take some Be the Light and actually some Cloud Carve too. I apply it next to it. And I'm pretty sure that this will just look very plain gray. So to add some life to it, I now go into Peach Fuzz, take a good amount and add that to the mix too. And yeah, now I just start to mix them together here on the back of my hand. Nothing really fancy, just a bit of mixing. And here it is. This is a dark gray contour shade. Wow, that with the first try that was a premiere help. I love to apply cream bronzer, cream contour, even liquids with this brush. This is the Made by Mitchell MF4. It is dense but kind of fluffy. It works just like a dream, and I just now, okay, this is a bit hard to do, but I just tap a bit on the back of my hand, and now I start to tap it on both sides because I just took a bit too much. And now I just start to blend it upwards and yeah, just contour. Right now this looks probably very, very gray, but it will come together at the end. The blush choice is insanely hard because I have 24 blushes here and then each 4 blushes in the other cases. So, if you remember this series, this has started the love. I still love this blush case so freaking much. But honestly, with this look, I actually want to use the shade either Red the Room or Berry Hue. Not too sure. I think Berry Hue is doing it here. I always do this and forget that these are so crazy pigmented. You can paint walls with this. But no problem because blending will do the trick. First of all, this 100% is just because of this brush. The Rare Beauty Blush Brush is just the perfect for any creams or liquid in my opinion. Aside the Pat McGrath sticks, that one does not work with them. But just look how effortless this blended out. And for the cream highlight, I of course go into this one, the Comet case. This is just as stunning. And I use my favorite shade here, and this is Fairy Kitten. As per usual, my Sephora Pro 90. And then I just start to tap this on here. I think out of all the cases, the Comet case is probably my fave. So Made by Mitchell does have bronzers. He has even a bronze book like this blush book, but I never got it because one side is way too orange and the other side is not cool enough for me. So the tones are just not for me. I applied now a powder contour, but I'm going in the blush book. This is the very first one that he came out with. I have no clue if this is still available. I just very much hope so. But if it isn't, he just came out with mini blush books that has 4 shades in it, and they are amazing. Problem just is that I think for this look is nothing really fitting. So I go into Hint of Innocence. They are, by the way, very, very pigmented, just like the creams. So I apply this here. Yeah, this is matching, but it's very, very pigmented. I just tapped so lightly into the pan, but still there is a ton of pigment going on. So these Eyelights are technically brightening powders for the under eyes. I personally find them not too dry, but they look nice, honestly. I once in a while even used them just for the under eyes, depending on the look, of course. But what I actually like the most to do with these powders is I use them all over my face as finishing powder, as a matte but still matte brightening finishing powder. So what I do is I go into the shade Morn and I use actually the Refer. I have no clue. This was a limited edition special brush, I think last year. And I apply this powder now here on my T-zone, then on the nose and on the sides of my nose, above the lip, on my chin, and I also apply this under my contour. So I will now finish the rest of my face and then I will come back and talk to you about the products that I haven't included here. One item that I didn't use for this look because I just have a hard time incorporating it in looks is actually the Drip Drip highlight. This I initially bought in an XL version and it was so freaking intimidating that I had to sell it again. Then I got this mini as a gift with purchase and I wanted to give it a new shot. But Drip Drip, honestly, this is not a highlighter. This is, in my opinion, a pure silver paint. Can you imagine wearing this as highlight? I for sure cannot, and honestly, I love a good highlight. I love a very intense highlight. Look at me right now, but this is for me too much. Even when you try to blend that out, I have a gray cast on the cheeks with a bit of glitter. So what I did instead, I incorporated this as a eyeshadow. This works very, very well just as liquid eyeshadow, so I do have a way to use this. But honestly, Drip Drip gets so much buzz from Made by Mitchell, I don't think it is really worth it. He does apply this though on the body with a super big body brush. I can't see this. And one of his models that he applied that to had tan skin. Honestly, I don't think that in real life this would have looked good. Under the studio lights, this might look insane and really good, but I think as soon as she stepped out with this in the natural light, there will be a gray cast on her skin. I do also have two liners from Made by Mitchell. This one here is one of the classic gels that you have to sharpen, and it's the shade Legendary from the All Smudge No Budge line. And honestly, this is a really, really good gel liner for the waterline. I really enjoy this. One of the most insane bright reds that I own. It's really, really beautiful. And of course, I had to grab from the new Makeup Mark liquid liners the shade Fire Truck. I actually haven't used this on my eyes so far. I just have swatched it, and this is what it looks like. Honestly, this is not as red as I hoped it is. It is definitely more pinkish, but like hot pinkish with a tint of red, but really pretty. When I swatched this on my hand for the first time, it took me 3 days to get it off because this definitely has some staying power and this dries down insanely quick. I just rubbed it off now to show you the stain that it leaves on my hand. I'm not big on liquid liners in general, and I think this is a good one, but just when you, for example, rub it off, with a lot of liquid liners, they either stay on like forever, or they smear away. This one peels off, so it can be good, can be bad. Again, I have to test this on my eyes to have some final thoughts on this. I do not have any of the Made by Mitchell glosses. I know that he has them. I think they're called the Beam glosses. I had once one that I got in a mystery bag that you can buy on Beauty Base from time to time. I hated it. The gloss was so thick and goopy. I used it once and then I decluttered it. Aside the face brushes, Made by Mitchell also has eye brushes. Here are just the two that I used, for example, for this look here. One is very, very long and fluffy. This is the ME one, and then a packing brush, the ME5. In general, every brush that I've used so far from Made by Mitchell, I really liked. This one here that I used for highlight, I just learned that this is too dense for me for highlight. I don't like the way this applies the highlight, and it's also a bit too big in my opinion, but I will definitely use this for under eye because this looks amazing to fit this area. I think personally Made by Mitchell has some amazing days yet to come. They have so much potential, and I just am very, very happy that more and more people are discovering them now. I think I mentioned it in the intro, but I can't remember because the time that I filmed the intro and now this has been 1.5 hours in between that, so I don't know if I now say things twice. If you want to buy any of those items that I mentioned today, I have linked them down all below with an affiliate link, and now I just have the deja vu. Yes, I have said this already. Let me please know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Made by Mitchell item? Have you even tried the brand? Do you plan to try them now? If so, let me please know what you like to try first from the brand. Make sure to subscribe, check out the info box, you know, engagement and comment and shit. And if you are just in general not interested in Made by Mitchell and you don't want to try anything and you don't know what to comment, comment Ghostface. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.